so that you can all exactly so that you can all view the session afterwards as well. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the floor to Palmina.
Hello, thank you, Juliana. Thank you, International House World Organization, for organizing this webinar. I'm really very proud to be here and to talk about my big passion. So I would like to start immediately by sharing the screen, not because I want to go immediately into the session itself, but because I would like to welcome you from my wonderful Sicily. So this is what I can see from my window, and I would like to share with you today the warmth and the hospitality that Sicilian people have. So thank you so much for being here. I do hope you will enjoy this hour together. I'll try to invite you to talk and to exchange your ideas and your inputs in the chat, but you are also very welcome to just raise your hand and be together and talk together about this issue. So I'll start this webinar with my story. Some of you know me. And some of you may have already seen this young girl on the left of your screen, and of course you see on the right myself today, almost today. I've decided to start this session by sharing my story because it gives you, I think, a clearer sense of what I will be talking about. I'm going to look at our profession from a sort of different point of view, which is not exactly 100% the point of view of the teacher, but the point of view of a coach. So you may ask, why, Palmina, are you talking about coaching? We are going to listen to some teamwork, procedures and processes and activities and techniques. So why are you talking about coaching with us teachers? And the reason for this is exactly my story. So when I was 16, I was very shy. I didn't know exactly what I wanted from my life. Well, I wanted many things. One, for sure, was being a teacher. So I didn't go too far from my first dream. But I also wanted something else. I really loved to organize things, to be with people, although I was shy. I loved the way kids learned. But I had many passions and many dreams. And of course, being a Sicilian girl, I felt a lot the pressure of my parents. They wanted me to become an optician because that was our family business. So my mom pushed me to study and to become an optician. And in fact, when I left school, I did everything. I studied to become a teacher. I studied to become an optician. So I was a quite undecided girl. It was then that I went into coaching as a coachee because I understood I needed some help. That kind of help that neither my teachers nor my parents gave me. And this coach guided me, and she taught me some techniques to see what my dreams really were and what I really wanted to do. And this is where my real professional life started. I decided to become a trainer. I decided to open my own school. I overcame my shyness. I'm here to talk to you, to so many of you. This is where Palmina really started her professional life. And I became a teacher. I opened my language school in Catania. I'm based in Catania, as Juliana said. I'm the founder and manager of Giga International House. My school belongs to the Italian Association of Language Schools, for which I also have a role. I became a coach, qualified by the ICF training programs, and I founded a department within Giga International House that looks at how coaching can really help our profession. So by the end of this session today, I do hope that you are going to take some of the inputs that I'm going to share with you, inputs that come from coaching, and that you will be able to integrate them in your daily life as a teacher. So let's have a look at what we will be talking about today. We will talk about life competencies, which are also called soft skills or future skills. There are many ways we can define these kind of skills. We are going to talk about teamwork. So this is the main topic of today, and also project-based learning, so teamwork and project-based learning today. We are going to look at the difference between teaching and coaching and groups and teams. And we will also go through the process of teamwork, from the team planning process and the real importance of team planning process to teamwork assessment. Sharing with you an approach, which is the SPIRE model, which is a team coaching approach, and also some practical coaching techniques and activities that you can bring into your classroom. So let me start by asking you to reflect on a time when, and I'm sure that we have all experienced at least something like these two pictures that you see on the slide. So think of a time when you had planned the perfect lesson with the perfect tasks, and you went into your classroom and something happened, something really didn't work. There was either chaos or your students were really demotivated. So in the chat, can you please tell me if this has happened at least once in your life? Maybe you can also tell me when this happened. In the chat, I'm going to read your chat. So has this happened at least once in your life, that something went wrong? You had planned something in a way, but then something different happened and students were not exactly what you expected from them. Yes, it has happened. It happens. Okay, as Asia said, oh, last Sunday, Anna. Okay, good. It happens regularly. Okay, yes, it's true. This happens. Unfortunately, we have all experienced this frustration. But if I may say, please don't blame you. Okay, it was not your fault. I'm 100% sure that you did whatever you could do to make the lesson work. But yes, something happened. So maybe it was not a question of not giving the right instructions, or maybe not being able to motivate the students enough, or maybe the task was not so interesting as you thought it would be. Maybe it was just a question of focus, where your focus was. Was it on the language acquisition? So was it on the language process, or was it on the life competencies of your students? So was the focus your student or the process of language acquisition? So this is what we should take into consideration. Sometimes a lesson is perfect, but we have not considered enough our students, so the real protagonists of our story. And our students are made of different skills and talents and competencies that we need to take into consideration when organizing teamwork, when organizing team tasks. Possibly there was a problem with communication, so communication problems. And if communication doesn't start, the atmosphere may not be the one we really want it to be. Maybe there were some problems in the decision-making process. So we need to enhance our students' decision-making process. So all the life competencies of our students need to be taken into consideration when we organize teamwork or project-based tasks. And in the four boxes, colored boxes, these are the 4 C's, the most common skills, life competencies, so communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. But we also need to focus on empathy, on social responsibility, so how the students interact. We need also to look at self-reflection, so we need to help our students to reflect about their personality, about the learning to learn process, about leadership. So we will see during this hour together what we can do. Because we need, as educators, and I'm using the word educator on purpose rather than teacher, so maybe it's a closer word to coach, the educator. We need to have resources, techniques, tools, materials in place which support the language learning process. So as language teachers, we have all the tools. Okay, we have all gone through teacher training courses such as CELTA or Trinity or whatever. Some of us have Delta. And so we know how language methodology works. But how can we enhance our students' life competencies in relation to having our students working together? Okay, we will look at this. One of the answers is coaching. Now, I'm not saying that we need to become coaches, but some coaching techniques can help us. But before I tell you what coaching is, according to the most common definition of coaching, do you all know what coaching is? Can you please tell me in the chat what we mean by coaching, just to be sure that we are all on the same page. And thank you for all of you who have shared their experience, okay? Rosie says, guiding others. Yes, absolutely. The word guide is exact. Okay, any other coaching is helping others to be their better selves. Wonderful. Training the target group on certain methodology, help a colleague to become an expert, empowering. Okay. Active listening, absolutely. That is a skill that we really need. So yes, coaching is everything you are saying. Lead a team, good at problem solving and managing, looking for a solution from a mentor. Okay, Vanya, mentoring and coaching are slightly different. So if we have time at the end, we can go through the difference between mentoring and coaching. Today, we need to focus on coaching and teaching, okay? But there's a small difference. Promoting autonomy. Okay, thank you so much for your input. Now, basically, this is the definition. Coaching is a process that aims to improve performance. So it helps us to enhance our students' performance, and it helps us unlocking our students' potential. One of you said the better selves, wonderful, and helping them to learn. So as you can see, it is something, coaching is not something that is related to knowing the subject this is the difference, Anya, with mentoring. A mentor is someone who knows our subject, knows our, so for example, it could be a senior teacher can be our mentor because he knows or she knows about teaching and helps us. A coach doesn't necessarily need to know your issue, your problem, your challenge. The coach is only someone who guides you, who helps you finding the solution. So we need to see the difference between a coach and a teacher at this stage. So according to you, what does a coach do? What does a teacher do? So coaches versus teachers. Can you tell me, can you put in the chat some verbs, sorry, I went to the next slide. So some verbs that relate to a coach, some of which you have already used, and some verbs with teacher decides. Yes, Richard, teacher decides what to do. Wonderful. A coach never decides. So thank you, Richard. A coach asks question. A teacher gives answers. Thank you, Agnieszka. Okay, teacher explains. A coach guides. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, in the next slide, and thank you for your input, I've listed some verbs. And some of these are some of the verbs that you have used in the chat box. But as you can see, I put in bold, ask questions. And the reason I put these two verbs, this verb, asks questions, in bold, it is because a teacher asks question to know about the subject. A coach asks questions to make you think about the subject, to give you, to stress you in thinking about finding solutions. So questions are different. Simple questions for teachers, powerful questions for coaches. So we need to look at the way we ask questions in a different way. So we said we don't need to become coaches, but coaching is useful. And here is where I want you to focus on teamwork, because teamwork is the perfect place. I would say, as the title of this webinar says, that teamwork is where the magic happens. So teamwork and team coaching is where our students can really show the best of themselves. And it is the place where we as teacher maybe need to do a step back and let our students decide on roles and responsibilities, decide on the actions they want to take. This is where, and thank you, Richard, this is where the students decide. So you said the teacher decide. Well, if we want teamwork to happen, and if we want teamwork to become a successful tool for us, this is where teachers should step back and let students decide on the actions, on what they want to do. And to do that, we need to understand the difference between a group and a team. We usually work in our classes with groups. But if we really want teamwork to be a successful tool for us and for our students, we need to look at our students as teams. A team that has a team goal, so not individual goals, but a goal that is shared by the team. They need to work interdependently. They need to show ownership of their actions, so they need to decide what they need to do. Okay, it can be maybe wrong for us, but as long as it's the team which decides that will bring good results. And the goals need to be created by the team itself, where each team member puts their talent and experience to reach the team objectives. Okay? And other keywords are trust. They need to trust themselves. They need to encourage their team member. They need to share opinions and views. Only if we are able to make all these things happen, we will succeed. Sonal, you raised your hand, so I'm happy to stop here for a minute and answer your question.
Okay, so can you hear me clearly? Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, I have a confusion over here in your groups. It says suggestions are rarely welcomed. So, according to my understanding, if you're a member of group and then you are doing something, your suggestions are welcomed. But here it's saying rarely welcomed. So it feels like you don't belong to this group and then your suggestion is not welcome. How does that work?
I'm sorry, Sonal, I am afraid I have not understood your question. Is it something that is in the chat?
No, in the
no,
group.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Sorry. Yes, okay. Sorry, I heard the chat, so I was looking to the message. So okay, in the group, yes.
It says there's one sentence here. It says suggestions are rarely welcomed. So it is a bit confusing for me because how does that work? If you are a member of a group, then your suggestions are normally welcomed and it's heard.
Can you please tell me where the sentence where you're taking, where you're reading this?
You know, on the slide?
Yes. Can you
On
tell
the
me
slide,
the box? Because I want to read it. Yeah.
Is it third one? Third box.
Okay. So members,
yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yes, members are given their tasks or told what their duty is, and suggestions are rarely welcomed. Okay, what does this mean? Sorry, Sonal, now I understand what you want me to share with you. Now, this is the difference between what happens in a group, what happens in a team. So in a group, the group members may receive a task. So you as a teacher are giving your students a task, or you tell your students what to do. And you as a teacher, and also the other members of the group, does not accept suggestions. So this is the difference between a group and a team. In a group, this can happen. So you are just told what to do, you go and do it. And group members are not allowed to suggest other opinions or other inputs. In a team, on the contrary, in a team, it's not you as a teacher who give tasks, but maybe you give us a set of tasks, and then the team members decide on which task each team member wants to do. And suggestions are welcomed within the team. So this is the difference between a group and a team. So we have to create a team, not just a group of students who listens to you and do the task. Is it clearer now, Sonal? Okay. Sonal, you have. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I could see.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you can proceed for the next slide. Don't worry. Thank you, Palmina.
No,
thanks
you're
for
welcome.
Your explanation.
We can go back if we have time. We can go back at the end to see the difference between groups and teams. Yeah. And the reason why I'm trying to focusing on how a real team work rather than how a group works. Okay, so we need to focus on a team.
Thank you.
And teams are the ones that we will focus now on. So with students having same goals, owning the decisions of the tasks, sharing ideas and suggestions. Okay, it's one team. And we need to look at the phases of either a project or a team task, because it is really important to see how this process works and where, as teachers, we can really guide our students to create the perfect team, which will become a successful team. So, project is made by 5 different steps or 5 different phases. In each phases, something happens. Now, we will focus on the initiation phases of a project or a task-based activities. This is where the team is formed. So again, it's not just you saying, Antonio, Richard, Sonia, okay, you will work together as a group, but you will work as a team. And during these phases, these life competencies will be taken into consideration. It will be teamwork and collaboration, it will be empathy, critical thinking, leadership. So all these things and all these skills will happen in teamwork, okay, in the creation of the team. So let's see now in practice, okay, what we can really do, okay, because we said that it is important to work with teams, teamwork is successful. What can we do as teachers? So I am following this SPIRE model, which is this approach. I will also invite you at the end of the webinar to join the community. It's I am creating this community. It's absolutely free of charge. It's just to share best practice on team coaching. So what I'm going to share with you are activities that are part of this approach. So it's the initiation phase that we are considering. Okay, so it's the real starting point. Okay, I'm not looking at the end project, at the execution, but just at the team. How am I creating this team? We're going to work on team vision, purposes, values, and relationship. These are key to success. So, coaching activity number 1. Now, I'm going to show you activities for teenagers and activities for younger learners. So no matter what age you are teaching, you can use these activities for both age range. To be quite honest, the activities that I'm going to show you for teenagers can also be used for adults, okay? So if you are if you teach adults, you can also use these same techniques, okay? So the first activity is called What is your team name? And the outcome, so our aim with this activity is to create a unique team. The team members will reflect on their personal strength. They will focus on positive traits of their personality, and they will also use some negotiation skills. How does it work? Okay. The activity is created on the acronym of the teams, of the team members. I use my name as an example. Well, it is not an example. We did this exercise with our team at school. My name is Palmina. So I focused, I was asked to focus on the qualities which I think are my qualities, okay? And so P stands for passion, because I'm a very passionate person. I'm quite attentive. I like to learn. I keep studying and reading every single day. I'm meticulous. I can be very inspired. I can be noisy from time to time, but I understand this as good noise. So I make people listen to me, and I'm an active person. So the first part of this activity is an individual activity where all your students are asked to work on their names, finding their best qualities. You may need to give them, maybe to elicit, to brainstorm some vocabulary, either nouns, adjectives, it doesn't matter, and so that they can pick and choose. Then, in their team, they need to negotiate one characteristic taken from each name. In this case, that day, there were 4 of us, Palmina, Natalie, Horatio, and Naya, and we decided to choose passion for my my qualities, Natalie, effective. For Horatio, we chose organized, and for Naya, neutral. What did it mean? That during the teamwork that then we were asked to perform, we would have brought these skills in our teamwork. So I would have brought passion. Natalie would have brought effectiveness. Horatio would have helped us in being organized. And if something went wrong, Naya put her neutral skills, so she would have kept balance. And then, after we had chosen one characteristic per name, we created the name of our team. So our team was called the Open Team, where we would have brought these 4 skills. During our work, we were always be called as the Open Team, and the Open Team worked together. This helped us creating our identity, okay? For younger learners, maybe that is a little bit too difficult. For younger learners, we can give them cards or show them pictures of animals. As you can see, each animal is connected to a characteristic. So a lion is strong, a cat is loyal, dolphins are friendly. So they have to choose together as a team one animal which would have represented the name of their team. So the strong lion team, the friendly dolphin team, the adventurous cat team. So again, that team was seen as an identity, as a unique team of students. Okay, so this is the team name, which is very important to create the team identity. Now, let's move to coaching activity number 2, which is an activity which will help our students, teens and younger learners, to create team vision and purpose. So first of all, we need to explain what team vision is and what team purpose is. So rather than giving them immediately the task to perform, let's spend a couple of minutes to ask, tell them why they are there together to work on that task. So where you as a team want to go? What do you want to achieve? So it's again a reflection task, a reflection time for our students to see where they are going. So we go through this meaning of a vision and through meaning of the purpose. So what does your team will want to achieve? Why are we there all together? And how can we do it? So how do we create a team vision and team purpose? How our students create team vision and team purpose. Here I've taken a technique which is not mine. It's taken from the book Start With Why, but there's also a very nice video. I do hope you have a chance of watching this video at a later stage. You will see Simon Sinek. He's a business coach, and basically he says that if you start by understanding what your why is, it is much easier to achieve what you want to achieve. He uses this strategy with market leaders. It is the strategy and the technique of the 3 golden circles, where he wants his coachee to find their purpose, to find their why. So for teenagers, I ask my students to create these on paper, these 3 circles. Why is the inner circle, then there's the how, and then there's the what. Now, of course, they know what the task is, because we have already told them what the task may be, but it's not the focus of the webinar, knowing what the task is. No matter whatever task you want to give them, it is how we help them create this team and how we help them create their vision and their purpose. So why do you do it? We ask our students to negotiate and to write in the inner circle, why are they involved in this project? Why do they want to achieve X together? Why their competencies and skills will be necessary to achieve X together? So it's a way for them to stop and think about the real reason why they're there together. And if they can find a sentence, if they can find their why, it is much easier for them to get to the end of the project or of the team task, because it gives them motivation. It gives them ownership of the actions that they are going to do. It's them, it's not you who say, okay, you are there because you have to do this task, because we are in this way, we learn vocabulary, we learn whatever, we learn to create something. But it's you find your real why. With the younger ones, where maybe this conversation may be slightly more difficult, we ask our students to create a vision board. And using drawing, colors, cutting and pasting, so whatever we find so easy tools for our younger learner, we ask them to create their vision. So to see what they will be able to produce at the end and how that will make them feel. So maybe by giving them examples. So for example, if they are working with Legos, so the vision may be, our vision is to build the best Lego city in the world. We will ask them on paper to create these vision boards where, with colors and pencils and or maybe they can cut and paste, etc., they will show beforehand what they are going to produce in the future. So creating a vision board will help our students see the vision of themselves at the end of the process, and they will feel so motivated that then it will be much easier for them to create and to work on the real task. Okay? So I'm showing all the coaching techniques, and then we will have time at the end for reflection. Coaching activity number 3 is where we are, again, we are still at the initiation phase. Okay, so our students have not yet started executing the task. With these coaching techniques, with this coaching activity, we are going to help them find their values, so their behaviors, what they believe in, and they will bring this behavior into life then while working on the task itself. So creating this relationship is quite important because they will create a sort of agreement, okay? An agreement between or among the members on how they will interact, okay? And how can we create this relationship among the team members? Again, 2 different activities. One is for teams, and it is the values wheel. Now, the values wheel is something used in coaching to focus on your priorities, but it is also used in team coaching to prioritize the values of the team. So, what you're going to do with your students is to give them a list of behaviors, maybe 10 or 12. Here I put some examples. So a list of things, of behaviors that should happen when working in teams. And you ask them to choose 8 behaviors that they want to bring into their team work. As you can see, examples, I put some: no judgment, cherish ideas, be proactive with problems, be respectful of others' intimacy. You can really choose whatever behavior you want to choose. You give them all, and they will have to choose the 8 behaviors that they really believe need to happen in during their teamwork. I show you how the value will look like at the end. So they put the behavior, they choose the 8 behaviors, they put the 8 behaviors around the wheel, and then they rate how important that behavior is. So which is the most important, which is the less important, from a scale which goes from 0 to 10, and they create their values wheel. I usually stick this wheel on the wall of the classroom so that they always have this values wheel in front of them, and they can go back and look at the behaviors, especially if something doesn't work. I usually ask for their attention and say, hey, listen, I have seen that you are no longer proactive with problems. Maybe your values has changed. Do you want to work on your values wheel again? Is there something that you have realized is more important than something else? And it really works, okay, because they are committed to what they have chosen. For the younger learners, we do something similar, but of course easier. We use it also for language, for our language classes. We ask them to create their classroom rules. So by giving them cards with, again, with behavior, they just create a simple agreement, classroom rule agreement that they put on wall. So there's less negotiation about choosing the right values, but again, by putting them in the right order, they show ownership of what they're going to share. And this is for the younger learners. Coaching activity 4, and then we have our last one, is the appreciation box. The appreciation box is something that I use with with kids and with teenagers and also with adults. We also have an appreciation box at school for us, for the staff. So what I do is I buy these transparent plastic boxes, one for each student. I put their name on the box. At the end of each team task, I ask team members to write an appreciation sentence for their teammates. The sentence is anonymous. So you write this sentence for a teammate, but that teammate doesn't know that you are writing the sentence for them. The only difference here between teenagers and kids is that maybe for kids, I already give strips with a sentence written on it. Here are just some examples. You can also use some simpler sentences according to the level of your students. With the teenagers, I usually give these strips written with the sentence written maybe for the first or second day, then I let them free. So they can choose whatever sentence they want to write. It has to be a positive sentence for one teammate. I then collect these sentences and I put these sentences into the boxes. At the end of the teamwork, I give the box to the student and they can see what their classmates have written on their performance, on their contribution, and please believe me, something really magical happens because most of our students are not aware of their talent, of their positive traits. Maybe they focus too much on the negative, while these appreciation boxes help them then focus on their best selves. Last thing, so we have seen a little bit how from the planning of the team to the team assessment. At the end of the initiation phase, I give them a tool. In this case, it's this sort of questionnaire. It's a team work questionnaire that helps them focus on how they have performed. So think about the first activity that I showed you, the one on the name. So during the task or the project proposed to you, have you managed to perform as your team keyword state? If it's a yes, so remember we were the open team. So in this case, we were asked, did you perform as you were committed to? So were you passionate? Were you organized? Were you neutral? If it's a yes, they have to give evidence of their yes. If it's a no, they have to create their action plan to make things work better. And this is a teamwork assessment for teams. And the last one, for the younger learners, they also have to assess themselves, because team assessment is really important when working with teams. It helps them perform better in the future, better and better in the future. And it is easier if it's them who, it's not you as a teacher, but they realize, they can see how they have performed. I usually give these very simple team assessment questionnaires with faces, with emoji, where they have to think and reflect if they have listened to their teammates, if they have shared their ideas. It's always, sometimes it's not sure, and they have to rate their performance. Okay, so I've gone through, and we are perfect on our time. So we have seen some coaching activities that will help us make teamwork a magical tool for our students to enhance their life competencies. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the chat a very simple questionnaire, because I'm working on a research project on coaching techniques related to the language teaching. So maybe while you ask me questions, if you have questions, of course, I kindly ask you to answer this very easy questionnaire. So I put the link on in the chat, and in the meantime, while you do your questionnaire, we have 5 minutes to go through your questions. Okay, you can find now the. Can you see? Can you see it? Okay, wonderful. Okay, and I am here. I share again the screen so that then at the end. Okay, so that you can see the activities that we have seen. And so if you have questions on these activities, maybe I have not been too clear on one of these, or you need to know more about about these activities, I'm here to answer your questions for these last few minutes. Sonal, my concern is if I've answered your questions about the difference between groups and teams. If not, I'm here back.
No, I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Don't worry.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Palmina. Thanks.
Thank you, Sonal. So if there are other questions while you help me collecting this data on these techniques, basically I'm asking whether you already knew these activities, but if you knew these activities, whether you used them in the classroom or in other contexts, because it is quite important to see how coaching is integrated in language and teaching. So these are 3 or 4 questions for you to ask. And if you have other questions, I'm here. If not, I'm ready to thank you. And wish you a wonderful and nice evening or day wherever you are based at the moment.
Let me take this opportunity to thank Palmina for her session. So with Palmina, we share the fact that we are both from Sicily. I'm Italian too. So it's lovely to see co-national and regional person connecting as well. So thank you very much for your session and for sharing such techniques that are going to be very useful for teachers worldwide. So as we said, we are recording this session, so you will be notified with more information about the recording when it is available. So don't worry if you want to look back, or if any of your colleagues have registered but weren't able to join us today, they will be able to see the session anyway. So we hope you enjoyed the session, and we wish you a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, depending on your time zone, because we know people are connecting from all over the world. Oh, Robert is saying I love the appreciation box.
Thank you, Robert. Hi. Okay. Thank you,
So
Rosie.
thank you very much for everybody who joined us today, and we hope to see you in the future at other webinars that we will be organizing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.